USA Today, which may be giving ESPN a run as the most woke sports outlet in the country. Difference is, at least ESPN actually has a substantial audience. USA Today is a crap newspaper with a minuscule audience in the grand scheme of things. But they're now doing an entire series on the threats to women's athletics that come from abortion laws. Now, let me just be clear here. The threats to women's athletics from abortion law is minimal, okay? In red states. Wherever you go, there is Plan B available. There is certainly birth control available, right? If you are an athlete and you don't want to get pregnant, it's relatively easy to keep yourself from getting pregnant. Plus, you still have a lot of options regardless. You travel all over the place. You're in many states. But what I think is intriguing about this is USA Today will not cover transgender athletes dominating in women's sports. That's the real threat to women's sports, right? It's that guys decide that they are women and go over to women's sports and start absolutely dominating, which is what's going on right now in many different sports, which is what Joe Biden is trying to enshrine and ensure becomes the law of the land as it pertains to Title IX. So they're trying to make it such that gender identity, that is, whatever gender you want to identify as, is a protected class under Title IX. So if you're a dude and you decide that you want to be a girl, you should be able to become a women's champion just based on the fact that you are choosing to change your gender. USA Today won't cover that at all. That is a direct and existential threat to women's sports because men are bigger, stronger, and faster than women, and there is a strong chance that if men decide to identify as women, and they're already skilled athletes, that they will become the greatest women's athletes ever. We basically saw this with Penn swimming, where a mediocre male swimmer decided he wanted to identify, college swimmer, as a woman and became a women's champion, okay? USA Today is not covering that, but they are saying that abortion laws, which every state is going to have the right to determine what abortion law should be, and then they have the right to adjust it. That's what overturning Roe v. Wade did, was it returned abortion to all 50 state laboratories, as is the fruition of democracy, right? So we have 50, thanks to federalism, state laboratories. Everybody can make their decisions. Some states came out and said, hey, you know what? In the 9th month of pregnancy, if you decide you want an abortion, go get one. We love that idea. That's, for instance, what California and New York did. Other states were more restrictive and said, hey, you're not going to be able to get an abortion in this state. Effectively, there are exemptions and everything else. But 50 state laboratories, we'll see what happens. If red states are making a poor choice as it pertains to abortion law, then theoretically people would leave. Just like tons of people are leaving New York, Illinois, California right now to move to my home state of Tennessee, to move to Florida, to move to Texas. People vote with their pocketbooks based on what's better for their family. So if the red states are making awful decisions as it pertains to abortion, then there will be market-based economic consequences based on where people choose to live. But women's athletics under threat? Stop. It's a lie. Women's athletics is going to be fine. What's not going to be fine is if Title IX starts to protect gender identity as a protected class, and if dudes continue to decide that they are women for purposes of athletics. That is what is the real threat out there.